So, my niece, my brother's daughter, is visiting me from China. She's doing her medicine. So, we're generally chatting with her, this weekend. Basically, I was telling her, we tend to compensate in life for everything we lack. Okay. Suppose I'm lacking power, I want power. I'm lacking money, I want money. And there are so many insecurities. Insecurities about the self, insecurities in relationships, insecurities among any social interactions. There's so many, right? So even that, I kind of learned a new term recently, Asperger's syndrome. It's kind of categorized as one of the spectrum in autism, where in our childhood, somebody is very socially inactive, but they're intellectually very good, and they're academically they are good. Example, Elon Musk, right? But they're socially awkward. I mean, they cannot interact. They cannot make friendships, long friendships. So any friendship comes to them, they push it away. So each one, I mean, from as if you see the extreme ends to even to the normal ends, and the other extreme and this extreme, if you see, still there are some insecurities. We are lacking something and we are always trying to compensate. And you might ask, how is this related to my meditation? It is everything to do with our meditation. So, when I meditate, inevitably, whatever that thing I am lacking, I'm kind of trying to compensate it. So my inner core is seeking that compensation. When my inner core is seeking that compensation, I'm trying to fix it by going into deeper conscious state. In all my meditation, that's all I am looking for, unknowingly, involuntarily. That's all I am seeking. That's all I'm trying to fix. So as a result, what's happening is we are focusing, our goal of meditation becomes something else other than the real goal of meditation. So this is where the prayer comes into the picture, especially the heartfulness prayer. So in heartfulness prayer, we are kind of acknowledging that to become that higher essence, that godly state, the higher principle, what we call the master. Master is not a person, it's a principle. That higher principle we want to become, and which it's already there within us. It's not something new principle we are creating. If that principle is not there, then we cease to exist. There's no existence. So that principle is all pervading. It's already there. And what we are trying to do is we want to become that essence. Some of the Gnostic Gospels kind of give a very philosophical or, esoteric side of Jesus. So when he's saying, my Father in heaven, he's not acknowledging as an individual who has come from that abode, divine abode. He's kind of saying, you are all that. So that means he's acknowledging that essence in everyone. But I can only acknowledge it when I feel it within. Otherwise, it's just an information. It's not real. So, that goal which we are reminding ourselves in prayer, it kind of goes deep into our heart. That's why the supposition, the suggestion, the way we practice the prayer is we say the prayer mentally once and twice, meditate on it. So when I meditate on it, I go deep within. I kind of understand this is my goal, this is my essence. All other shortcomings are there. I don't have to compensate for my shortcomings. I can improve, but not as a compensation mechanism. When there is an insecurity in a relationship, we try to manipulate. Without our knowledge, we are kind of manipulating the situations, how we project ourselves out there. Everything is very artificial, very superficial. We manipulate. And we try to imagine things which are not actually there. Especially you will see when, two people it's not going well between the couple. The couple is trying to blame each other. That's because I'm trying to compensate, I'm trying to manipulate in my mind. So I rather kind of can take a very matured view out of it and realizing this goal. Then should I fix this relationship or not? Let the inner guide you. There are some times which are extreme situations where it cannot continue. And there are situations, if I lived with someone for 15 years, that means there is some, scope to fix it. Right? So it all depends on the situation. I'm not suggesting this way or that way. But what I'm trying to suggest is when this goal becomes my life, what happens is it puts me out of the situation. It makes me look at something more, what should I say? Now here we are not lacking it, as I said, it's already there. So we are making it more and more profound in our life. So when such a thing happens, we know exactly how to act. So now I am not, so there is no lackness in me I'm feeling right now. Okay, I don't have enough money. Okay, I don't have enough, I'm not socially very, active, or, what should I say, I don't come off as a person who draws more respect. Doesn't matter. Whatever that situation may be, it doesn't become the most important thing in my life. When it doesn't become the most important thing in my life, then I become a witness. I become a third person. When I become a third person, I'll be able to think about that situation much better than what it is. So I can see the reality rather than this manipulation. Mind tries to manipulate without our knowledge. So with that mind, whatever the decision you make, it works well for you. Okay. So the decision, I'm not saying you have to only do this. That's not how spirituality teaches you. Spirituality teaches you to act according to the situation with lot of clarity in your mind. Okay. So that's why we need to bring that clarity in ourselves. When that clarity comes, things work differently. So, unless this goal is established in my inner core, I'm not meditating on the goal. I'm meditating on something else. That's why what happens is the progress is sort of stalled towards this goal. We're going tangentially in an opposite direction, though we are meditating regularly, though we are doing cleaning regularly. Because that innermost core, that goal is not established. So we have to this introspection is very important. Our ego is always justifying whatever we do. Otherwise, there are no criminals in this world. If we have the ability to introspect and not justify. So any act, if somebody is doing it, it is all justifiable in their mind. But when I sort of come to this clarity and introspect, then I'm not manipulating anything around me. I'm acting with clarity, I'm acting decisively, and then my meditation becomes very goal-oriented. My spiritual practice becomes goal-oriented. So that's why, someone asked me long time ago, this is almost 20 years ago I'm talking about. I used to go to, Santa Clara, one hospital. There I used to give sessions. And one lady asked me, I've been practicing this for 10 years, but I don't see much change in me. And I'm not regular in my practice either. What can I do to make my practice regular? I said, just for 1 week, just do the prayer every night and sleep. As prescribed. Just say the prayer mentally once, twice, and think about it. With that thinking, going to sleep. And then see how it changes your day, next day morning. And the next day. Automatically you tend to meditate in the morning. Without. It's almost like as soon as you get up, you want to meditate. You feel like meditating. That's how effective prayer is, because in your subconscious mind, the goal is sinking in. Because that's your last thought. Like I shared before, right? I used to play poker and then bridge. 2 card games I used to play before I go to bed. And when I get up in the morning, I just pick up my cell phone to see the time. And as soon as I see the time, the next thing it's a reflex, I turn on the poker game in the morning as soon as I get up. And that kind of taught me that, if I go with the prayer, then meditation when I get up in the morning becomes almost a natural act. Because it's sinking into every core of my being in my sleep. So prayer before sleep, you're adding 8-hour meditation to yourself. In your sleep, your mind is going into that essence, into that goal. And doing this again and again and again, my inner core is seeking that goal. That's it. It is not a compensation mechanism. It is not the lackness of it you are feeling. It's anything negative over there. So my meditation becomes progressive. Think about it. Or try it for a week. You don't have to do it longer. So try it for a week. Every day prayer, that's your last thing. Go to bed. Try it and see yourself. Right? So any comments, questions, observations?
It's really funny you brought this subject up today, right? This morning I was thinking about that. The wording of the prayer did not make sense to me when I started Heartfulness. Because for me to think about somebody who is a master, because I always was, in the beginning, people taught me that master is Baji or somebody, another entity outside, until you gave me a different meaning to it. And then over time, the meaning of that prayer has changed. It has evolved.
Right.
It has gone from I'm praying to somebody to this is a way of life. And it has put me in a different place in my life.
Yes.
My goal has become clear, even though I am not clear on my goal. And there are times I am not doing all the prescribed practices. But that's one thing I never miss is the night prayer.
Right.
And that has made the huge difference. I wake up, even if I don't have time to meditate more than 15 minutes, it has changed it. My meditations are deeper and I want to do it. In the beginning, I forced myself. Okay, I have to do morning this, afternoon this, evening this, night this. But just made one change. And I had a 30-day trial period. And in 30 days, it changed to a point where I'm a different person.
Yeah.
So it's incredible. I really encourage everybody to try that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Try it for a week, as Shikant brother says.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was thinking about it from a somebody who's practicing new, or somebody who's not met or not met. We call Daji the master, and the goal is to become like the master. But if you don't know, if he or she is not defined, then how do I draw that goal? Or like, how do I make it? So that's what I was thinking when you were, how does that, some people just get it. We've been in the practice, and then I like how Citra said, is that I know my goal, yet I don't know my goal. It's kind of, it, but it's very hard to describe. So I just want to pause and see if Shrikant or anybody on the call could simplify for a novice who's new to the system, and then wants to figure out what that goal could be for me or for them.
Sure. So the goal is not going to change, right? You start begin with the goal. Suppose if I'm learning a game, that is the goal. I'm learning a game, and it's whether basketball or football or golf, anything. Music. You keep practicing and eventually you evolve. The same notes you are playing, the same 7 notes you are learning. The 7 notes are not changing, right? But it is evolving. So, see the human life, right? So there is a fixed thing in the beginning, very fixed. We see everything is fixed. So in very science terms, a fixed thing is that means it has a lowest entropy. But always the life is looking towards the highest entropy, means there's a lot of randomness. Things are not fixed anymore. So when a mind which is subjected to a fixed thing, now it is very dynamic. When it becomes dynamic, then there is a confusion. So here, if I have to define the goal, is my innermost core feeling. And it's trying to express something. We always avoided it. We always ignored it. Now to become one with goal is now I am in harmony with what is being expressed from inside. We all feel it. Here there are no exceptions. I don't have to feel my goal just because I am like a very, enlightened person. There is no enlightened person here. We are all, if this definition of enlightened person is whoever felt that innermost core harmony. We are all, at some point we are feeling it, but we ignored it because, like I said in the beginning, I'm trying to compensate with a lot of things which I feel I am lacking, and we go away from that harmony. So prayer done as practiced, as prescribed, brings that harmony back. Yeah, Shilpaji, go ahead.
Yeah, so I don't know if you explained this in the past or not, that master is somebody who has mastered themselves.
Correct.
Right, so my goal is to master myself. My goal is to be okay with whatever, right? So goal might be the same, but the situation is different. So no matter where we are at in our whatever journey we are having this in the life, the goal is the same, just to master whatever it is, it's there, accept it, learn from it, and move on. Right?
Right. It's almost 7:23 now. I had my one-on-one session with Naresh Bhai yesterday. It was so deep, it was so profound. So I'll request Brother Naresh to give us the sitting today.
My video is a little iffy, but
Yeah, that's fine. No problem. You can just say, please.